Okay, Mike here. skyinclude. Differences of .btc domains BNS Bitcoin naming system, which is by Stacks, and Handshake. So I'm gonna go through this. First, I'll focus, of course, on the. It's a brand new thing I just found out about. It was tweeted out June 2nd by Munib. He's the founder of Stacks, smart contracts for Bitcoin. So they're trying to show that Bitcoin is not just a rock like gold. It actually can be used for smart contracts like Ethereum and other blockchains. So they came out with this, and I went through the process. I recorded it in advance because I didn't want to waste too much of your time. I did it last night, and I'm going to go into my demo of registering. And then after the recording of the demo, which I do some voiceover on, I'll talk about some of the questions or the feedback I have, and then I'll compare it to Handshake at the very end. Okay, so let's go into the demo video of me registering skyinclude.btc on Stacks. Alright, so let's go through this. I go to btc.us and I'm going to search in the name skyinclude. Hey, it's available, and I get it. It's going to prompt me over here. It's 2STX token. I see my wallet address here. I've already signed in with my wallet, and I can't use BTC or fiat, so I only use STX, which I've gotten ahead of time before this video. I then continue, and there's two steps: to send a pre-order, to reserve the name, and then to register it on the network. So I will click send for the step 1. I need to log in with my Stacks wallet, which I've already installed and funded with 7STX in Chrome. And this is what's going to happen. I wait a second here to calculate the fees. It's very minimal, and I send it. So here's where it's got to process, and I am waiting for it to process here. It has taken at least in my opinion, quite a while. I've waited about 30 minutes or so, and I skipped that waiting and I cut that. So it still showed pending, but what I still did is I just went to register step anyway, and then it refreshed, I think, to show that that was confirmed. So here's the name register step, and I'm waiting for the fees to calculate, and then it's still minimal. And then send. And now this is processing. This again took another 30 or so minutes. For this, each step took about 30 or so minutes. And we waited for that, but I just saved you waiting 30 minutes for it. And then it's pending for a while. You can review the transaction, of course, on the Explorer. I'm not totally sure what all of this means. I guess it's probably maybe not needed. Don't need to worry about it, I don't think. But I was just checking it out while I was waiting for a while. And let's see, we're still waiting, and I'm going to jump ahead. You can see, of course, which wallet called it and the contract and the transaction. So it did confirm. Again, this is over 30 minutes or so. You can see what's containing there. I refreshed and it says you already have a name, so I guess it went through already. So I check my wallet and give it a second. I can see the balance is down by 2, and it also says something called names. I'm not sure what name. I'm assuming it's skyinclude.btc. And you can see the name register. You can see different transactions to verify. Of course, you can click on the Block Explorer for Stacks to just confirm you have your proof that you've done it in your wallet. And I just checked this out. Essentially, it seems like it's all set. So now what I do is I go back to my account on btc.us. I refresh here, and I see I have skyinclude.btc, and there's the settings here where I can check the transactions and transfer it to someone else's Stacks wallet if I want. and of course delete it if I want. And then there's some DNS settings here in the advanced, and you can do the URI, A, 4As or C names to add records, and that's essentially it. All right, so we're back, and still have these links up. My biggest feedback, I actually have some friends there, and I said, the biggest feedback I have is I was doing this while I was with my kids on Saturday, and I was outside, and my battery was like dying, and I couldn't turn my laptop off because it was processing. I recommend, if you can do this, to have like an hour to 2 hours of free time where your computer can be on, because I don't know, I was afraid to turn the computer off while it says, keep the screen open. I think it's because it's on blockchain, on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is, I don't know, it takes longer. I don't do many things on Bitcoin. So, it says, so a lot of people on the Twitter thread are saying like it's taking 30 minutes just for one of the transactions to go through to get mined. And Stack says it's mined in tandem with Bitcoin blocks. So they confirm as fast as Bitcoin. So, I don't know. I guess Bitcoin is, I think people say more secure, but I'll just say slower in my opinion. So it's just keep that in mind. You can only have one per account. So I think I could just do another one if I created another wallet address, another address in here. So if I opened up the Stacks wallet and I create another wallet here, create a new one. It's already been created. I didn't want to, but I think now I could do it here. Of course, I have to fund this account, and then I could register another domain, but it's one-to-one. I guess maybe it's because that will be your payment address for STX token and BTC token. And so that's another point I noticed. It's really cheap. I mean, I got STX at $1, so it's $2. There was some extra fees, of course, and time and etc. But STX is trading at $1 right now per token, so it's $2 for 5 years. Let me see if I'm in my account here. So in my account, I still need to mess around with this. I don't know how to, is this a redirect? I kind of want to just figure out. So this would not be, skyinclude.btc on the browser. You have to do, it would be skyinclude.btc.us, right? It's a subdomain of, or actually third level domain on that btc.us. So any settings here would be on that add profile record. Okay, maybe I'll do another video. Maybe let me know in the comments what you think of this so far. But, I think the big effort is you can use this for your identity on Stacks apps. There's a lot of apps they've been building in the ecosystem. Of course, you can use it as a wallet address for STX or PTC. And of course, just like others, all of us, all these namespaces say they're working on getting to resolve natively in the browser. So now back to Handshake. Some people in the community like Handshake Jesus and others were trying to see if they could get .btc on Handshake to them. So we want to collaborate with all these namespaces, but it's reserved name, and it's a reserved name because there's a site that was in Alexa 100,000 that had it. So yeah, they say it's about $5, but really it's 2 STX. How can I use it? You can read it yourself. You can use this for this Stacks apps, STX apps, and then bridge, to Web 2 with .btc.us. Yeah, one per wallet. Yeah, one per wallet is the issue. Yeah, basically, a lot of people are trying to register multiple domains. They just want to have one per account. But like I said, you could just register another one. And then a copyright, they're just like others. They can't stop people that are buying trademarks or what you would maybe you consider trademark, just like other namespaces. In the new decentralized internet, it's going to be harder to enforce that. So Of course, I have a bias. I'm wearing a Handshake hat. This is basically a Handshake channel. I hope we can collaborate. We want to collaborate with these namespaces and these other, smart contract blockchains like Stacks, because Handshake wants to basically be cross-chain. There's HNS and others, but BTC, we can't seem to be able to get that for them. .btc, because it's reserved by an Alexa 100,000, which has not yet been claimed. But maybe we could get it for them someday, and then hopefully bridge these together. But of course, I still prefer Handshake personally because it's a TLD. This is still a SLD on BTC, which it's not even yet a SLD on BTC because it's btc.us, so it's third level domain until later they get. But as we know, it's not so easy to get into Brave and other browsers, so they'll have to go through that, however they do that. So that'll be another, you gotta wait for that. And then it's really still somewhat renting. You got to pay 2 STX every 5 years, and they're limiting you to 1 per wallet. A lot of people seem to want to register lots. Maybe they want to squat on them. Maybe it's a good thing. They're not letting all these squatters grab them all. But of course, there's workarounds. Like you could just make multiple wallets and buy them in multiple wallets. Yeah. See, I didn't even see this one. It's still rented. It's still paying the 2 STX per 5 years, although it's super cheap. Of course, we don't know where STX will be in 5 years from now if I renew it. I kept a couple extra in case. I still have like 5, so I guess I got it for a couple more years, or 5-10 more years. But you can read the comments yourself. We'll link this up. But basically, yeah, I mean, I'm still sold on. I see that they're just trying to show the world that Bitcoin is not a rock. Like if you go to their homepage, I think they're really just trying to compete with Ethereum, probably more primarily. Well, because Ethereum is the dominant player in smart contracts, and there's ENS.domains we've talked about before. So I think they're just trying to show. They used to say, yeah, here. Gold is a rock, Bitcoin is not a effing rock. I think that's what Stacks is all about. They're trying to say you don't need to start another blockchain. You can keep everything in Bitcoin, and we're like a offshoot of Bitcoin. And you don't need to have all these Ethereums and handshakes and all these other things. Just use Bitcoin, and Stacks is like a tandem connection to Bitcoin. So they're Bitcoin maximalists that believe only Bitcoin probably needs to exist, and you don't need to do other smart contracts and other blockchains and other proof of stakes or proof of works or anything else. So I think this is probably built for people that are Bitcoin maximalists that only want to use Bitcoin. But even people that are in Bitcoin don't want to use STX. I saw in the comments, why can't I use BTC? So yeah, it's basically, you can read these comments, but basically, I think it's just trying to make smart contracts on Bitcoin. That's the point of Stacks, STX, and they're making now another domain extension. Although it seems like they also had a .id, which is one app in Stacks 1.0. This got rebranded to .btc, but the .id ones from the OneName app are independent, and you still own those. But if you want to have your name.btc, you don't automatically get that because you have .id. You have to go and register again on .btc. It's an independent naming system. Yeah, see, they're separate. You can own them both separately. Okay. Yeah, see, you can't really. They're not meant for websites. They're meant for decentralized domains like ETH. Of course, Handshake's working very, very hard, as you know, and myself, to get into browsers. And to get into more traditional web use, but maybe these are more for identity and for, our buddy Brantley at ENS Domains is jumping in there. You can read that yourself. But basically, I'm going to keep it short. I don't know, I'm rambling, I guess, but I hope I'm giving you some thought processes at the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the demo. Again, I try to put my money where my mouth is and actually go through the process and try to give you the real feedback. Of course, I have obviously bias to Handshake still, but I hope this helps you get some input and ideas. Thank you.